Hi and welcome to Outwell and to the Clipper L from our Air collection. This is a tunnel design tent which is aimed to sleep up to 5 people, which has 2 bedrooms at the back and a good sized living space which we'll show you in detail shortly. Firstly, I just want to talk you through some of the features on the outside, so we'll start off with the fly sheet that we use here, which is our Outex 5000. This is a good quality polyester material which has been fully PU coated on the inside. All of the seams have been completely taped as well to ensure, of course, that it's totally waterproof with a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters, ensuring that you can be safe in your knowledge to know that you will be completely dry even in heavy rain showers. Some other features that I want to highlight on the outside before we move around to show you, for me, what stands out about this tent is the ventilation down the side here. You can see underneath we have a large mesh panel which is just going to allow cool, fresh air into the tent. Of course, if it gets a little bit too cold, we can get rid of this simply just by removing the Velcro tabs like so, and we can just push that down to close it over if it's a little bit too chilly. All of the guy lines that you'll find on the tent are already pre-attached, and you can see that we're using our classic luminous guy lines here, so they should be a little bit easier to spot when it's a bit darker. They each have their own retainer as well, so that's what this loop at the top here is. We have the Velcro loop here. You see that? So we can roll up the guy lines and pop them in here when we're taking the tent down, so that the next time you come to use a tent, they're easily accessible. We're also using our easy pegging system with this tent, so that's where we supply you with 3 different styles of peg. We start off with the solid steel pegs here, so these are the anchor pegs that you would use in the corners of the tent, and they would go through the grey loops. We have the black plastic pegs for all of the black pegging points around the side, and we then have the luminous peg to go with the luminous guy lines, just making sure that it's nice and easy for you to get the right peg in the right place. So wandering around the front, what you'll find is we have a large sized canopy covering the front door here. So obviously that's going to give you a good amount of shelter. If it's a little bit drizzly or wet outside, you can see that that just covers the front door. And what we're using here is a Duratec fiberglass pole, which just runs through the sleeve and attaches easily on the sides of the tent. What I want to talk to you about next is the frame that we use on the tent. And we'll just take you around the side here and show you that in detail. So as I mentioned earlier on, the standout feature for me here is the frame that we're using. So in place of your traditional steel or fiberglass poles, we have 3 inflatable beams. Now, to inflate these is really, really simple. We obviously supply a pump with the tent, and it's just like this one here. So this is a double action hand pump here. It's a good quality pump, and what you will find is on top there is a pressure gauge, so when you're inflating the tent you can keep an eye on what pressure the beams are going up to. So we recommend inflating this tent between 8.7 and 11.6 psi, which represents between 0.6 and 0.8 bar. Now what that does mean is there's a lot of air and a lot of pressure in these beams. So obviously the more pressure, the more solid these are, and therefore the more stable. In fact, we've tested this tent to withstand a force 9 gale on the Beaufort scale. So again, good in rain, good in wind as well. Inflating it is really simple. As I say, we already talked you through the pump, and what you can see just on the side here is each individual beam has its own valve to inflate. You can see quite clearly here it's written air in, and underneath here is where you'll find the valve that you just unscrew and attach the pump in to inflate this beam really quickly and easily. What you will also find is each beam has its air out valve just underneath that, and that's what it looks like just underneath here. So taking the tent down is really simple as well, because each beam has its own valve for letting the air out. It's quite clearly marked just underneath the air in valves. You can just see here with the cover that says air out, and then just underneath this is where you'll find the valve to release the air, dropping the tent really quickly. And then of course all you're having to do is roll it up and pop it back into the bag. So one thing you should be able to see from here as well is the shape of the tent. So we actually have these beams which are already pre-angled. Now what that allows us is nice vertical sidewalls here and a good head height as well. I mean, I'm quite tall, at about 1.95 m, and I can certainly stand up in here no problem at all. Certainly plenty of headroom in here and lots of space around us as well. That's accentuated by the large windows that you'll find, one on this side here and also on the door when it's rolled down. That's going to allow lots of light into the tent, of course, making it feel that little bit more spacious. If you do want a little bit of privacy, what you can find is that there are curtains on each of the windows, so they can be either rolled away as we have them now, or they can be brought halfway up the window, or of course you can fully close them as well. Something else I just want to highlight about this side door and the front door as well is that we have full mesh doors here as well. So you can see the outside door is rolled away at the moment, and that's where you can see the window on it here. Then we also have this full mesh door, so that's going to allow for great ventilation. We've already highlighted the ventilation panel on one side, but with the use of the front and the side doors, you're certainly going to allow lots of cool, fresh air in here without hopefully any bugs getting in as well. At the back of the tent is where the bedrooms are, and again, as I mentioned earlier, the tent sleeps up to 5 people, so you have a 3 and a 2 split. A nice feature here is that these come pre-attached, so it's a job that you don't need to worry about. They're already in place the first time you come to pitch it. How we attach them is using our wave-shaped hanging point system, which is just this across the top here, and that just takes any stress off of the seams across the top of the bedrooms, and these are just easily adjusted with the straps at the top like this. Another nice feature here is all these handy mesh pockets on the outside of the bedroom, great for smaller personal possessions. You'll also then find that the bedroom doors have got mesh panels on them as well, again to allow for good ventilation within there. We also have the zip that runs down the middle of the 2 bedrooms here, and that is the use of our universal inners, and we'll show you now how those work. Some nice features within the bedroom. You'll find that we have these handy storage pockets down in the corner here, ideal for smaller personal possessions. Across the back we have another large ventilation panel which corresponds to an outside panel on the fly sheet. And what you will find as well with the use of our universal bedrooms, as we've mentioned already, you can see that we can have this fully zipped closed to separate the bedrooms, or of course you can also have it fully open to create one large bedroom across the back. So just at the top of the tent, which you won't be able to see from the angle that we're at, we have a lantern hanging point. And coming away from that, we then have these cable tidies, which run all the way down to where we have our cable entry point. So that's just what this zip at the bottom here is. So you can see here that we can zip this open and run our cables into the tent without actually having the doors themselves open. So again, you can keep this mesh closed and just use the cable entry point here. While I'm here, I'll also just highlight the ground sheet that we use in here. So what you can see is that it's a fully sealed bathtub style ground sheet all the way around here, front to back and side to side. So it's bathtub, and then it comes up at the edges, stopping any drafts, dirt or bugs getting into the tent. And of course, it's completely waterproof with a hydrostatic head of at least 10,000 millimeters. We have a few optional extras available for the tent, including a fleece carpet that you can see here just for a little bit more comfort underfoot. We also have a footprint to go under the tent as well, again just for a little bit more protection for your ground sheet, keeping it nice and clean when it's wet and muddy. And we also have a front awning available for the tent as well, for those who may want that extra little bit of living or storage space. So that's all of the features of the Clipper L from our Air collection. Thanks very much for watching.